Hey, what's up everybody? DDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright. So, I'm getting out the house for a change. Seems like I've been in the house for like 5 days straight, it feels like. And it ain't because I necessarily wanted to be. It's just because I really couldn't leave this side of town and still keep up with the Lakers schedule. The games that they've had lately have been very condensed. Extremely condensed. We're talking like every 3 minutes it feels like there's a game, you know. It's back to back, then a day off, then a back to back. That type of thing is just kind of kept me close to this side of town. And we got Bible study on Sunday, so that's pretty much like for the same thing, 4:30, and the game at 4:30. Then the next night there's a game at 4. Then you finally get a day off. So that's kind of what it's been for me, just staying on this side of town because of the schedule. And you know, I did go out a little bit to grab something on, what was it, Monday from Target, locally, but you know, because of this Lakers schedule and me getting up, by the time I get ready, it's like 1 o'clock, 1:30. So when you got that kind of thing going on, it's like, well, shoot, I got to be back over here by 4. I don't even have time to really do nothing but local stuff. And if I don't have anything I have to do, then it doesn't make any sense for me to actually be doing anything at all. So that's kind of how I look at it. If anything, I just say to myself that when the Lakers finally do get a day off, I'm going to give myself an opportunity to just get around and maybe go to Hollywood or go downtown or something like that, like I would normally do if their schedule was reasonable. So that's kind of what it's been for me, man. But had some bad stomach days too, real bad stomach days. I bought some. I've been buying food from the seafood mart a lot lately, and some of that stuff probably shouldn't have been purchased, but they had like a little sale going on where they take like 30% off a delivery or whatever. So it was like, okay, let me take advantage of that. So I've been buying stuff from the seafood mart, buying clams one day, crab the next day, that kind of thing. I've been doing a lot of that, and I had to put an end to it. Some of that stuff was not meant to be eaten as consecutively as it was, but you know, it tastes good. Most of it tastes really good. That's the thing. And if you know anything about that type of food, it's just the portions are not going to be very hefty, so you're actually eating less than you normally do if you fill up a bowl of rice or something like that, like I normally do. So I've really enjoyed the clam era that I've been in. Crab, all different types of stuff I've been eating. It's been good to the taste, but not for the digesting it. It ain't good for you in that regard. So yeah, I've been doing that, and a lot of meditating, prayer, a lot of exercise. I've been keeping up with my hundreds since I ain't been doing my walking. I've been able to have 2 days in a row where I get that done. I hit my record of push-ups yesterday, just off the strength of being in the house, drinking a lot of water. And as I tell you guys, every time I go to the restroom, I force myself to do a set of push-ups. So with all the water I was drinking, it gave me more sets than I think I had done since I started this process. And since I stayed home, there was no breaks. And normally, if I'm using the restroom when I'm out, I'm not gonna go down there and do no push-ups. In most situations, but when you home and you drinking water, when you look up and you doing a couple sets here, a couple sets there. I think I walked away and did 12 sets yesterday. From the time I woke up in the morning to when I finally went to sleep at night, I think I had counted 11 or 12 sets. And that was either way the most I had ever done. And I'm doing 164 reps each set at this point. So when I did the math, that was like 1,800 push-ups on a day. So that was ridiculous for me. I've never even done anything close to that, I don't believe. I usually average probably about 6 sets a day at the most. And I expedited a lot of my reps. I jumped from like 158 to like 164 in like a few days. So it wasn't like I had been gradually increasing like I normally do, add one every 2 weeks or something. Nah, I've been pushing harder. And so I was very, very pleased with the effort that I put in yesterday in regards to that, especially since I really wasn't feeling good. I made myself do the push-ups, made myself do all types of exercises. You know, just stay active since I couldn't get my walking And that's really what it was about for me, man. Staying active, enjoying myself to the best of my ability, praying, lots of meditating, letting God in, doing the Laker work, which is work. Make no mistake about it. Hey, the more I start to continue this process, obviously I've been doing this for a couple of years, but it's one of those things where it's like, it really feels like work this year. The team ain't that great, and I'm doing more homework on the teams that we're facing for each game than I ever did. So it's like, I'm trying to be as knowledgeable as I can and all of this different stuff, so it requires some effort there too. So when I went to sleep last night and I was praying, I think that the word of the day was effort. Just doing all the things that I did, even though I didn't leave the house. I put in a lot of work on everything that I was doing. I got like maybe 10 art pieces done yesterday as well while I was doing laundry, all of that. And after I finished doing laundry, I felt so exhausted and so like sick, to be honest with you, that I felt like I needed to lay down. But I didn't. I got up and I did my hundreds squat regimen. And by the time I was done with the squat regimen, I was 100%. And that's how it usually goes. My body, I learned that there's two things I need to do if I'm feeling sick. It's one direction or another. Either I need to go to sleep or I need to exercise. And so for me, it was like, man, I want to do exercise. I'm not walking. I'm not getting my walk in, but I'm doing all of the other stuff more to make up for it. So yeah, man, it's a journey trying to deal with this stomach issue that I have. But at the same time, I think I've been putting on a lot of strength, a lot of strength lately in with all of the different things I've been doing and adding to it. I've added different ab workouts now. As I tell you guys, I've been increasing my crunches. I add one a day. So what are we at? 209 tonight will be my crunch regimen, and we're just gonna keep on adding to that. And now I've started the stomach, this thing where I lean back and put my knees to my stomach. I've been adding to that. Back when I lived at Lenox, the most I could really do was 40 of those. But in this era of my life, since I've strengthened my legs a lot, I'm able to add to that. 40 doesn't feel like enough, so I've been adding one a day to that too. I think we're at like 58 or something like that every set. And so I do like 2 sets of that. One in the morning with my suitcase squat regimen, and then one at night with my crunches regimen. So it's like I'm doing a lot of exercise, man. It ain't really showing, to be honest with you, because of that stomach issue. But I'm putting it in, man. I'm getting the work in every day and not taking no days off on it. And I think the work will pay off one way or another. If it doesn't work out in vanity, then it will promote health within myself to kind of have the energy necessary to get through whatever I need to get through in life as I'm dealing with this stomach situation. So that's really what it is, man. Been pushing myself and been getting out of it what I hope to get. When you feel the stomach issues that I've been feeling, usually you just want to sleep. You don't have a lot of energy. But if you're exercising and you continue to increase your regimen regardless of how you feel, you psych your mind into thinking you're doing better than you are, and it levels out to being balanced. That's really what it is. That's why I used to tell my mother when she was going through cancer, you got to promote health within your body, because if you lay down, even though you're losing energy, it begets more lack of energy if you don't push yourself against that for which is, weak. You got to push against that weakness in order to build the strength so that it can eat away at that strength to provide, whatever it's going to provide in making you sick. If you lay down when you're sick, you're going to be more dependent on laying down and less likely to be strong enough. And if it's eating away from nothing, then you die. That's how I look at it. So yeah, I kind of worked that into my equation now that I've been ill these last couple of days. And physically, I feel stronger than I felt in a while. Even when I was looking my best last year, I wasn't half as strong as I feel right now. And I'm doing way more exercise right now than I was when I had my 6-pack and all the V muscle and all that stuff. I'm doing more. So it's like, that's just what it is. You just got to keep increasing. Don't care about what it looked like. You just push. And so I slept well last night for the most part. I had dreams I was playing basketball with professional basketball players, and I was terrible out there just like I would be in real life. That's one thing I can honestly say, man. I don't have dreams of me being good at stuff I'm not good at. If I'm bad at something in real life, I'm bad at it in the dream too. This is what it is. I ain't no better in my dreams at playing basketball than I am in real life. In fact, I think I was worse. So I love the game. I watch the game from the sidelines. That's the perspective I've learned the game on. I played it as a kid, but I was never any good. Man, that's just what it is, man. I was never any good at it. I loved the game. I watched the game. I obsessed over the game. But I was much better at analyzing it from the sides than I was at playing it. And that's just what it is for me. But, at the same time, it's like putting in a lot of work. So I trust my basketball IQ is pretty solid for a person from this perspective. And given that I pay attention to a lot of what goes on in the inner workings of how things work in the NBA and transactions, and I have a pretty strong gift for logic as it pertains to slotting things in different positions. This player goes here, that player goes there. So it allows me to kind of find my niche in this field. And so that's what I've done. I appreciate everybody who watches me. I'm going to keep it going, man. Keep it going. That's it. I don't have any interest in slowing down my passion for talking this NBA thing and continuing to learn the game as best I can from my angle. So, yeah, man. Just feeling good, man. I wish I would have been out a little more lately, though. One thing about my personality is I'm inward introverted. So it's like if you don't stay going out, you're going to start to crave staying in even on days when you have the ability to go out. And that's kind of what I was feeling. I didn't feel like leaving the house right now. And I really didn't. But it's like I wasn't in here for no other reason than just being stuck to the schedule of the games. It wasn't like I was feeling anything that would keep me in the house. Even though I wasn't feeling good, I didn't feel bad enough to where I wouldn't have left the house and did what I normally do. But if I stay with my brain, if I stay in the house for 5 days straight, I'm going to want to stay another 5. It's just how I'm wired, man. So I'm now, at this point, I'm fighting the desire to be in the house. And that is an easy fix. You get out. You get out, you walk around, you see people, you do what it is that I'm doing here. And let that be what it is that ultimately caters the rest of your mindset. So caters to the rest of your mindset, rather. So that's really what it is, man. A lot of thinking, man. I was in the shower talking to God this morning and considering, the wisdom of even He has a lot to be thankful for in regards to the position He's in. Even if He bestowed it upon Himself, He's thankful to be. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say alive because I'm not really sure if that's what you call it, but to be in existence and not have yourself being drawn away from the reality of existence and choice, and to be able to take things in, whether good or bad, to just be, And God has bestowed upon Himself, I'd imagine, though that's way outside of my understanding, the ability to exist and to not be alone, to be appreciated by those who believe in Him and to feel alive in however He goes. So, as I always tell God, a happier you is a happier us. It ain't just about war. The enemy will have us all, even God, thinking that it's all about fighting the war of spirituality. That's not the only thing that's going on. It's creation, appreciation, artistic ability, and interaction. Call and response. It's a lot of things going on outside of the war of spirituality of good and evil. And the enemy wants to center us into a space of good and evil. We're thinking about these things socially in our respective countries. We're considering these things within our minds as we try to fight through what it is that we should, however it goes in our way of looking at things. And it's not just about conflict. Existence ain't just about fighting against what you should and trying to win in competition. It's not all about that. And that's what the Lord put in my heart to say to him, like, don't let the devil have you wrapped up into thinking it's all about taking back what it is he's taking from you. Having so much stress and strain about those who are turning against you, or those who don't believe in you, still needing so much from you, affecting that for which is important all around them in whatever ways they do, being used by the enemy. That's not the only thing. But if we engage in the enemy so much, he can make all of us feel like the only thing that's going on is the fight against him. And it's not. It's not. There's so much more to consider in life than just the battle that you're in. And if you think that's the only thing going on and the devil has won, he's effectively drawn you into a space where all you can consider is the perspective of trying to defeat him. And that in and of itself, whether you're winning the battle or losing the battle, is a win for him. Because he's effectively made you think that's all existence is about, and it's not. Without the presence of him, there's still so much to accomplish, so much to share, so much to build, so much to experience and have your senses take in. It ain't just about fighting. In fact, fighting is a side mission. It's a necessary interaction in order to exist, based on the presence of that energy always pushing against goodness. But it's not what goodness is actually about. And that's what I believe. So I just want to let people know we are always in a spiritual war, but the spiritual war ain't the purpose of this existence. It's not the purpose. It's the inconvenience of the times that for which pushes against goodness exists, because of the cancer of its existence in the life of goodness. It is not the purpose of goodness. It is not the opposite of goodness. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us think the opposite of good is evil. No. Evil doesn't have that type of power on its side of the fence to even compare to the vastness and the vast existence of goodness. It is not its equal, nor its opposite. That's what meditation was teaching me and allowing me to understand. It's not. It don't have that much power on the side of the fence. Without the presence of something to fight the goodness from which it's constantly trying to draw from, but can never actually engulf, it doesn't exist at all. But goodness can very much exist without evil. Goodness can bask in itself, by itself, without any presence of anything at all. Evil cannot. If evil don't have anything, it's just sitting there bored. It needs something to eat. It needs something to destroy. It needs something to confuse. It needs something to try to direct away from its purpose in order for it to exist. Otherwise, it's just standing still. Goodness don't have that problem. Goodness is creative. Goodness is sharing. Goodness is always bringing about more goodness from which to build from within itself. Bad just wants to eat until there's nothing left, and then when there's nothing left, it has nothing to do. It is not equal to goodness at all. And that's why it's always trying to eat away at something good. Because it can't stand still in its own space and just be. It always has to disrupt. It always has to bring about some type of conflict or something. It has to do something to good in order for it to be itself. Good don't have to do nothing to evil at all. Don't have to. If evil mind its own business, it won't have no business. That's the point. And so that's what I'm trying to tell people, man. Don't get caught up in just the only thing that's going on is a war. If you know you're a good person, spend time thinking about other things than the conflicts of trying to change something evil into something good. Revisit that when it makes sense to, but don't let that be the only thing you got going on in life. Don't let conflict be the only thing you got going on in life when you know your spirit is pure, full of love. Love don't need hate to exist. It's the other way around. It's absolutely the other way around. Devil would lose his mind if he effectively completed his goal. And that's what he's not wise enough to understand. His goal is to destroy everything. But then it has to sit in that afterward. Forever. Nothingness. No one to bother. No one to destroy. No one to antagonize. Nobody to tempt. It would lose its mind if it effectively accomplished its goal. That's why it's a loser in and of itself. The very essence of what it's trying to accomplish is going to make it unhappy in the end. Now, the people who engage in that energy don't know that. They're not thinking that far ahead. They're not supposed to. Based on what it is they're controlled by, they don't have that type of foresight. But the reality is, if it eats everything, it won't have nothing. And it's going to be sitting in nothingness forever. With nobody to terrorize, nobody to torture, nobody to do nothing to. Just bored. And having to deal with the existence of itself, having nothing. Being nothing. Earning nothing. That's why I tell you, man, goodness don't have no opposite. Just an inconvenience of its existence. That's all. That's all evil is. It's all bad is. It's all negativity is. An inconvenience of existence. And so I tell you, just like I was speaking to the Lord this morning, don't let the enemy get us caught up in only fighting, only battling, only thinking about what we have to do is win in this battle or spiritual war, or your inner beefs, the whatever conflicts you got going on, trying to fight whatever. Take a few moments out of each day you're in and think about something that will have nothing to do with fighting or winning or anything like that. It'll make you a better soldier in the war you're in if you know your place on the good side of things. It's not simply to defeat the bad side of things. That's what I'm here to tell y'all. Video 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.